The world felt heavier than ever. The air in the small apartment was thick with grief and exhaustion. The day my oldest sister, Tasha, passed away, something inside me broke. She wasn't just my sister. She was my best friend, my protector, my mother when our own mother couldn't be. I was 6 months pregnant with my second child, and every kick reminded me that life was moving forward, even as I felt stuck in the past. Tasha's laughter used to fill every room. Now silence pressed in on me, suffocating and cold. My little sister Keisha took it the hardest. She stopped coming out of her room, stopped eating, stopped talking. I tried to hold it together for her, for my son, for the baby growing inside me. But every day felt like I was walking through quicksand. Bills piled up on the kitchen table. My son's shoes had holes in them, and my stomach growled more often than it should. The baby's father, Marcus, was never around when I needed him. He'd show up late at night, smelling like cheap liquor and weed, pockets empty, eyes glazed over. He'd promised to get a job, to help out, but the next day he'd be gone again, chasing parties and highs. I tried to be strong. I tried to pray, to hope, to believe that things would get better. But the weight of it all pressed down on me until I could barely breathe. One night, Marcus came home with a bag of something I'd never seen before. He said it would help me relax, help me forget for a while. I was tired of crying, tired of worrying, tired of feeling alone. So I said yes. We sat on the couch, the smoke curling around us. At first I felt light, almost happy. But then something shifted. My heart raced, my hands shook. The room spun, and suddenly I was falling into a darkness I couldn't escape. I closed my eyes, hoping the feeling would pass. But instead, I heard voices, whispers at first, then louder, urgent, angry. They told me I was worthless, that I'd failed everyone I loved. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. In my mind, I saw my soul, small, fragile, being pulled into a black hole. Other souls floated around me, lost and afraid. I reached out, but there was nothing to hold on to. The darkness swallowed me whole. When I opened my eyes, Marcus was gone. The apartment was silent except for the sound of my son crying in the next room. My body felt heavy, my mind foggy. I stumbled to my feet, clutching my stomach, and went to comfort my child. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. My eyes were red, my face drawn. But I was still here. I was still alive. The days that followed were a blur. I stopped answering Marcus's calls. I reached out to a counselor at the community center. I started talking to Keisha again, holding her hand as we cried together for Tasha. It wasn't easy. Some days the darkness tried to pull me back in. But I fought. For my children, for my sister, for myself. People whispered behind my back. They said I was losing my mind, that I was crazy. But I knew the truth. I was grieving, I was struggling, but I was not crazy. I was a mother, a sister, a survivor. Every day I reminded myself, I am not crazy. I am strong. I am still here. New Year's Eve arrived with a cold wind and a heavy heart. The city buzzed with anticipation, but inside, the voices in my head grew restless, swirling like a storm. I hadn't slept in days. Every time I closed my eyes, the whispers sharpened, turning into shouts. My body ached for rest, but my mind wouldn't let me. Desperate for relief, I put on my best dress and went to church. The sanctuary was filled with people singing, clapping, and praising, but I felt like a ghost among them. I sat in the back, hoping the music would drown out the noise in my head. I bowed my head, praying for peace, for silence, for sleep. But the voices only laughed, mocking my prayers. After the service, I went to my Auntie Ruth's house. She was deep in the church, always quoting scripture, always praying. I told her everything about the voices, the sleepless nights, the fear that I was losing my mind. She took my hands, her grip strong and steady, and began to pray. Her words were fierce, calling on God to break every chain, to silence every demon, to bring me peace. For a moment, I felt lighter, like maybe her prayers were working. But as soon as I left her house, the darkness crept back in, heavier than before. My family convinced me to go to the hospital. The fluorescent lights were harsh, the smell of antiseptic sharp in my nose. The nurses spoke in hushed tones, glancing at me with pity. A doctor came in, his voice flat and clinical, telling me I needed to take something to calm down. He wanted my family to leave. Panic rose in my chest. The voices screamed, warning me not to trust them. I begged my family to stay, but the staff insisted. When they tried to give me a pill, I snapped. I ripped the IV from my arm, pushed past the nurse, and ran. The cold air hit me as I burst through the doors.
If you want to hear more of this story, please comment, like, and share this video. And if you want to hear more of my stories, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.